Hey everyone, and thanks very much for joining me for Devlog number 2 on my journey to creating my very own LucasArts inspired point and click adventure game. In this update we've got documents, charts, a lot of lists and something resembling a plan. So last week we were in the beginning phase of planning, which I think is an important step in terms of getting everything ready before diving into actually making anything. The last two tasks I set about working on were the puzzle dependency chart for the game and the game design document. So today I've got some good updates on those, along with some of the things I've learned from the process along the way. Just to warn you, we're at a fairly non-visual part of the process here, so apologies for that. So the first bit of good news is that our puzzle dependency chart is actually now complete with 3 full acts, and what I think is a fairly decent flow to the proceedings. Right now I have no idea how long the resulting game will take to play, but I don't think it'll be overly short and hopefully not too aggressively long. And I feel like it's in a nice shape. And really this was a great process to work through, because I went from not knowing much about my game beyond the broad strokes concept of it to being quite intimately familiar now with all the events and the puzzles that make up the game. And again, so I used software here called Lucid Chart, which you do need to pay a few pounds or a few dollars a month for, but it's quite useful, and worked backwards from the end of each act or section, adding those complications and trying to set up some codependencies that make sense. So with that done, I'm also happy to report that I was able to finish my design doc for the game, on top of which we now actually have a working title, which is The Biggle Boss Incident. Silly, intriguing, maybe a bit of both. Let me know your thoughts. Now obviously, so this design document is nowhere near as in-depth as the Grim Fandango one we mentioned last week, but it's just about 2,000 words long. It's got a full breakdown of the plot, the locations, the items, the characters and the general flow of things. You could obviously go into a lot more detail with something like this in yours, but since it's just me that'll be benefiting from this, I think it's about as thorough as it wants to be in order to get us going. And again, this being kind of like a bible for the game, if you like, was a really helpful thing to work through, because now I know exactly how everything plays out. More importantly though, it means now I know which characters, items and other objects need to be in every backdrop or location, which means I can actually start to think about artwork, which is exciting and terrifying at the same time. I appreciate there's more detail I could go into on both of these docs here, but I'm trying to strike a balance between sharing and holding back spoilers for the game. Perhaps you can let me know in the comments what you'd like to know more about, and I'll happily oblige in the next one. Overall though, if you are embarking on a similar project, I can't recommend highly enough creating one of each of these documents for yourself before you draw a single line of artwork or write a single line of code. They're really helpful and a great starting point for the rest of the game. So what comes next? Well, we've obviously got an awfully long way to go still, but more than anything, I'm feeling pretty good about how to proceed. I think the next thing I want to embark on is to create a separate list for the art assets and actually begin drawing some of those backgrounds. I figure that making something that looks good will provide another good dose of confidence in how things will progress, and I think I'm going to set up a separate Trello board for art assets and maybe get cracking on that. At the moment I'm still looking into whether to do this on desktop or on iPad, maybe using either Procreate or Pixarkey for pixel art. But hopefully by the next video, I'll have made a decision on that and we'll have something fun and visual to share with you guys. But for now, I think that's about it. Thanks so much for joining again. Take care of yourselves, practice social distancing, stay indoors, and I'll catch you next time. See ya.